with declining or stagnating revenues going to Tallahassee. Everybody's hurting their home prices, sales receipts and stuff. But we Republicans have had control of the legislature for a long time now. And when times were good, even with Republicans in control, we saw that we did a lot of good things. We put a lot of money into some rainy day funds, and we invested in education and transportation. But when times are good, there's a lot of pressure to spend a lot of money again. Can you talk to us a little bit about how the Taxpayer Bill of Rights will help to curb our desires to spend too much money when times are good?
Sure. Well, there's smart caps, there's Tabor, all that discussion. And it really, what it boiled down to was wanton and reckless disregard for the people. And I think that, yes, it is easy to spend when you have money. It is easy to throw money at programs, worthy programs. I'm not saying that they're not. And again, going back to the vetoes, you saw a number of worthy programs that were vetoed, and some of us were very disappointed. But at the end of the day, we as a legislature have a responsibility to be responsible to our constituents. And unfortunately, and I'm not criticizing anyone that was in legislatures previous to when I got there, but there was very little regard for the hard-earned taxpayers' dollars. And so I think that very concept is really going to hold us true to what we espouse as our values and our principles, yet when it comes down time to it, we don't necessarily always personify what we say we're going to do in our actions.
Just a quick follow-up on that. A lot of people have said, even Republican legislators, that even though they, in general, appreciate the idea of restraining the growth of government, as legislators, some people felt that it was restraining to your ability to, legislate and appropriate. Do you feel that that's true, or what do you think about that?
Not necessarily. I think, again, it's unfortunate we had to go that route. Even at the municipal level, you saw time and time again in cities and counties throughout the state, as the tax base is growing, they did not respond in kind. I mean, you see special districts, and we have hospital districts, and we've got fire districts, and they don't necessarily follow in lockstep with some of that legislative jargon that we're talking about here in terms of restraining the cost. And it's been shameful, if you will. And hey, we're all part of the problem. And until we really get busy and put our minds to what we need to do in terms of containing that, then I think people will really have a restored trust in what we're trying to accomplish.
I know this was addressed at the last meeting, but I didn't happen to quite hear everything. What did you guys address for immigration during the past session?
Okay, yes, and I think Matt has probably said it very well. There was the Senate version and there was the House version, and at the end of the day, both versions did not roll us. What's unfortunate is that the topic of immigration has become so political, almost to the point where it dilutes the policy that we need to get behind. I was the first one to say when I think back in September, God knows when, 2009, that issue was brought up. What troubles me is, yes, I realize that there is absolutely a problem with immigration, and to say differently is disingenuous. I saw it firsthand when I was at Jackson Memorial. They operate 2 nursing homes, which approximately 90% of those patients in those nursing homes are undocumented, and there's nothing they can do about it other than absorb that cost. And that's it's a taxpayer-funded institution. There is absolutely a cost to our social services, to our education, to our health care. The problem that I think the legislature had this year is the fact that the debate became almost mean-spirited, and it was very conflicted in both chambers, although more so in the Senate. And you had the business community aligning against the bill because of the inherent cost. There was inherent cost for our criminal justice system. And so until they can really look at it from a holistic approach to analyze not only the business side but the human side as well, I think that the legislature will have trouble coming to some sort of agreement. At the end of the day, it is a federal responsibility, and I find that the lack of action on the federal government's part has obviously been an emphasis for why Arizona went the route that they did. Certainly there are vast differences between Arizona and Florida, but I would be hard pressed to tell you that I think the legislature will address that issue. They may address it next year. but certainly I think if they are to address it, they need to have a component that not only addresses the human side, but the business side as well, in terms of the verify or a system like that that holds the business community responsible for what they've been doing in terms of hiring undocumented.
Yeah, that's where you need.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll defer to the chairman. Always defer to the chairman.
Well, thank you for coming here tonight. Just how do you see redistricting panning out locally, and will we be lucky enough to have you representing a piece of Broward next year?
Well, we shall see. Obviously, the Fair Districts Amendment is going to be a new component to redistricting. And I'm sure all of you are very familiar with redistricting. It's a process that happens every 10 years due to the census, population growth, shifts in certain areas of the state. So then they have to redraw every House district, every Senate district, and every congressional district. I am on the committee. We are, I am happy to be there. It's a coveted spot that everybody was trying to get on. But I'm on the committee. We are going to be touring the state. So we'll be starting later this month, throughout the month of July, and throughout the month of August and early September. We will literally be going to every region in the state. We will be in Broward, I want to say late August. And that will be, it will be a public hearing open to the public. So I will encourage each and every one of you to attend and give your ideas, your thoughts, and certainly be able to express what you think is an appropriate district in your areas. As to the chairman's point, will I be redistricting, will I be representing Broward? I have no idea. I know District 112 has been traditionally a difficult district because it also stretches into Collier, and Collier is what they call a Section 5 county. There's only about 5 counties in the state that require almost a special level of approval from the Department of Justice due to the Voter Rights Act in terms of minority representation. So District 112 is a little difficult and a little different than most House districts, but we'll see. And maybe I'll be lucky enough to continue to have a drop.
Okay, on the redistricting topic, because the Democrats on the other side have been encouraging people not to show up to these town hall type meetings, so that they don't say anything that's going to affect them in court, and so that they don't get their districts hurt. So what would you recommend for Republicans?
We have been saying all along we want the process to be fair, open, and transparent, and that requires citizen input. And we're happy to have people show up and talk to us and express whether it's beneficial to your district or not. I mean, I think you need to have the public's involvement.
MyDistrictBuilders.com.
There you go, mydistrictbuilder.com. You can literally build your own district. If the House has put up a website, you can go in, you can look at population based on any demographic, and it's really